Here are a few things I want to teach you in this episode.
Action!
Power cords. That means the power cable that goes to your studio monoblock. Here is the stupidest thing that I encounter in my own studio. Our power cords are not long enough. So this is not long enough, but you probably think that this is long enough. And then you know what you do? You go out and you make more power extension like this. So this will connect to here and then this will go to your flash, right? So lo and behold, before you know it, you're going to have 15 lights in the studio, and then you have 15 of this, and these are really expensive stuff because the cable is really thick. So there can be 13 ampere cables, expensive to have. And then you have extension cords running all over the studio. Look at how messy this is. So you know what? One fine day, I just thought that why are we so stupid for so many years? And I believe that if I have this problem, viewers out there like you who are subscribing to our channel will have this problem too. So I went on to our online shopping mall, Lazada, and I get myself a freaking 10-meter cable that will connect directly to the wall, and it's fused. Look at this. This is a good plug head. In Malaysia, we are using the UK standard. So inside here, you can have a fuse in there. So this is a good power cord. As opposed to this one, you notice that if it fuses, you need to bring a screwdriver to remove and then put in a new fuse. So having said this, I now have a 10-meter power cord. 10 meter is nothing, don't worry about it. Which means that I can now connect directly to the wall without running through all this extension cord. So which means that I can flick this switch on and bring this monoblock all the way to the other end of the studio without extension cord. And how much is this cable? This cable is just costing me Ringgit Malaysia 35. That's not even 10 US dollar. Now the colorful tapes are good, but what's annoying is if you use them to tape your equipment, the glues are so wet and sticky, unlike the black one, they will melt your plastic case. So this is actually the case of a power adapter, but because we glue it to identify which light it goes through, after a year, we didn't remove it. It just dissolved all this plastic. And that's possible because all these glues are actually chemicals. And now I have an adapter that has no case. And this goes to one of our most important LED panels. So what do? You need to go out to electronic stores, and get yourself project casings like this. These are really cheap. They're selling for like 2 ringgit here, which is, how many US dollars is this? So you get all this, and they are various sizes. So what we have to do now is that my lighting assistant at the back, the studio assistant, is digging holes in them. So we're gonna fit this in. And that's my point. If you run a studio, you better be prepared with maintenance work. You need to know electronics, you need to know electrical stuff, you need to know how to drill holes like this. Now, talking about important lights, this goes to one of our favorite LED panels. It's bright enough, and it's small enough, and it's compact enough. Let me show you this. Mine, I cannot understand. I seldom bitch on my show. I seldom talk shit about brands. I'm not talking shit about brands though. I just don't understand this. This is one of my favorite brands, Amaran from Aperture. And I was telling you about using these kind of tapes. So we use them to stick here to label the light. So to indicate what kind of light this is. Come nearer and I show you. After a year, the glue hardens and looks like shit now. And it cannot be removed. So don't leave them on permanently. After your job, you got to remove them or find another way to label your lights. Now that's not the problem. Let me show you the biggest problem with this beautiful brand. So it runs on an adapter. Good. So you know what? You like your lights to be high, just like the sun, so that the light comes down and its shadow comes down, it looks more natural. So during filming, we tend to have this as our hair light. So when your subjects or actors are tall, we tend to move this high enough. So if that guy is 6 feet, we will need this at least to be 7 feet. So Ella, if you were to show the viewers what is the stupid thing about this? It's hanging like shit there, right? And look at the stress that's on the connector there. So that's gonna spoil the female connector on the LED lights. And I love these lights because I can put them in cars and stuff them anywhere and get lighting effect. Now, if you were to do lighting in a studio set, never have your light hanging this way. This is just accidents waiting to happen. Never have them hanging because somebody would just come in and then step on this and then there you go, get disconnected. So how do we solve this problem now? Simple. I got this idea from one of my director's light. This light belongs to Ivan. It's a nice photo. It's a 1500 watt LED light. So you see what they do now with the new lights is that the adapter is clamped on to the light stand. That's all good. And then the cables are all running down perfectly. But there's one problem though. You cannot lower the light stand. You see this problem? The power brick is stuck to here and you can't go on any lower. This is the lowest you can have with the light. So I was thinking that if we come back to the light instead of just clamping it to the light stand, then I still have to glue or drill a hole and have a clamp here, which is not good. Instead, I've gotten Lucas to drill 2 holes, open up the power brick from the screws here, and then run a cable tie through this so that we can now hang this on our swivel. That way, I can still have my light stand going as low as the light stand allows me to. And the cables are all loose. They're not taut. And here is the most important thing that I learned. Look, this is not the right way to have your power going up to here because this is the female port. Look, with all the movement on your lights, this can come off. So what I learned now is not to have the power cord facing down, which is going to have gravity pulling it down. Another tip. Everyone say hi to Lieya. We have hundreds of power cords. And the worst thing to do is not having Velcro cable tied to them so that they look neat like this. This is how we store our LED lights when we're done with the filming work. So all your power cord now is 5 meters. So you don't need extension cable anymore. Beautiful. Color coded so you know where they're supposed to go to. So in fact, we do have box tops that align to the Velcro so you know exactly where it goes to. Because there is a 30% of your workers or your crew which are freelance. So they need to know stuff like this just at the top of the head. Green goes to green box. What if you have something broken? Like this power jack, adapter power jack that goes to our follow focus. Somebody stepped on it and then the cover is broken. So you can go get this brand here. It is an epoxy putty, which is A and B. A will stay kneadable for a long time. Go get yourself those film containers, which I keep a lot from the film days because they are airtight. And then you get the B, make sure you use the different finger, otherwise they're gonna get hardened. So get the equal amount of A and B and knit this together to become really, really soft. And because it's like a putty, you can shape it into any shapes that you want. So this is really, really strong. I think I just broke the plier. This is what I want to share with you. This particular brand of glue, Hardex, epoxy polymer resin. So you got the resin, which is A, and then the hardener. So you put equal amount to this, and I swear to God, they're going to turn out so strong that you can do almost anything to it. And talking about glues, how do you ensure that your super glue stays usable and not dry up? after you use them one time. So this is a truly frustrating thing. You open a new glue, a super glue, and then a week later it dries up because air goes in. So this is what you do. Go get this kind of blue tack. This is what they are called in Asia and Malaysia. They are called blue tack. They use in stationery stores so that you can actually use it to tack things on the wall like this. So what you do, because it's airproof, you knead this and then you form it around the super glue, and this will stay usable for many months because no air gets in. And I also use this on my project table if I ever need to hold something to solder it. So if I want to solder something, let's say I want to solder this cable, I can use it to do this. So I can keep it hands-free. So this adapter that we reshell has been left to dry with the super glue for more than 12 hours. It should dry it up now. Remember, we applied baby oil because the super glue, the active ingredient is cyanoacrylate. They tend to have this white color vapor. That's why when you stick it, you actually get a little bit of irritation on your eyes. Those are the vapor. So the vapors will actually leave stains. So we use baby oil to rub on the surfaces so that it doesn't get this white residue. It's time to show you how I remove this oil so that it doesn't get sticky and yucky when you're doing production work. So let's see how well this works. So cyanoacrylate's vapor is actually used by forensic people to even detect fingerprint. Now, if you were to leave a fingerprint and then you don't put any baby oil, you're going to see a fingerprint there. So it's going to look very ugly. And cyanoacrylate, despite the fact that the name cyano sounds like cyanide, it's actually not that harmful as you think, because if you were to have a cut in the battlefield, you can even use cyanoacrylate glue to stick your tissue together. That's one of the best ways to get immediate fix emergency cuts that you have to yourself. So I use this screen cleaner because they are really good in removing oil. Let's see how successful we are to prevent cyanoacrylate vapors. Good. As you can see, we have no residue of those cyanoacrylate white color vapor. So this adapter is fixed. We've been using wireless HDMI way before Paralinx is in the market or Teradek is in the market. So if you're looking for wireless HDMI, I can tell you these two brands are really good. But this is like almost 8 years ago. How do we get our wireless HDMI? So we get those consumer boxes like this, and then we put batteries on them so that they have internal lithium-ion batteries. And then what we do is we hack holes in the cases so that we can run charging ports to the batteries. So this is our transmitter on an articulated arm on the camera. So what we did was that we remove the transmitter and house it in here. So inside here are lithium-ion batteries. And when you turn it on, you can hear a fan running. Let me show you. My microphone is here. So that way it keeps it cool. So it doesn't come with a fan. We have to dig out the components and stick fans to it and put LED lights to know that we are connected. And this is going to go to your camera and connect to this guy. So if you see a solid red, that means these two units are connected. That's how you get your wireless. That the blue thing shows me that the connection is strong now. So I'm going to keep a link where you can get this and make this on your own. So you need to have a few things. You need to have Lucas very good with the drill, so you can cut ports like this and holes like this so that the brush chuck can go in. Another skill that you must have if you're going into movie making and into audio is soldering skill. Now, most of the equipment in movie making audio requires soldering, just like XLR cables and power cables. And if you possess this skill, you're going to save a lot of money making your own cables and repairing your own cables. Perhaps in the coming episode, I can make a tutorial that teaches you how you can pick up this skill effortlessly. If you're going to have a studio, if you plan to open a studio, get ready to do stuff like this. So I'm going to let you run through this whole studio now to let you see how messy things are We do this like 3 times a year. Show everybody how messy things are when you're doing maintenance work. This is not even 30% of the equipment that we have, and we need to maintain them. So, if you love our channel, I hope you subscribe to it. Write to us, tell us what you want to learn, because this is the most realistic, straight to the point channel that tells you anything about photography, filming, and we hope you subscribe and hit the bell button. Why are you not wearing a goggle? This is supposed to go over your eye. That's how it protects your glasses. And
Why are you not wearing goggle?
I'm wearing my goggle. You're not drilling yet. And where's your goggle now?
I'm wearing glasses.
You wear it on top of your goggles. Please. How do I explain to your parents when you're blind? Well, you look stupid now. Yeah, at least you're safe stupid.